Hello there and welcome to Colors of India. The heat is unbearable and the city seems to be shying away from cultural activities of any kind. But the COI team is all set to give you some interesting stories. Here are the main ones. Celebrating their heritage. Pictures can speak 1,000 words. And beat the heat with something nice. Festivals are not always religious. Sometimes they're also about celebrating one's heritage and culture. Here's a look.
Sindhis find their origin in the Sindh province of Pakistan. Their culture dates back to the Indus Valley civilization. In an effort to revive this culture, the Sindhi Academy, along with the Delhi government, organized the Sindhi Balotsav.
Children in this workshop, in the month-long workshop, they learn everything that is Sindhi culture. So from theatre to music to dances, everything. And the one condition is that they have to speak in that language. And initially it was difficult. Resistance was great, not just from children but from parents. Surely they want their children to learn English, to be more fluent in that rather than a regional language. But when you make them see the point that, as many languages as it's always a very big asset.
The festival aimed at promoting Sindhi language, literature and culture through an evening of dance, music and drama performed by young talents.
I am so surprised because Sindhi we are not promoting at all as a language. Like Gujarati, they are promoting their children to speak in Gujarati and all those Marathis, but not Sindhis. They are least bothered with their culture. Because I tell you, because they don't have a particular state. All the Sindhis, they are spread all over the India, right? So might be it is happening like this. And especially in Delhi, though, not at all. But this is the first one, I'm watching it, I'm proud of it, to be Sindhi.
Proud parents thoroughly enjoyed as they watched their children perform live. participants sang folk songs and songs for Jhulelal, one of the Sindhi gods.
स्कूल में भी मेरे सिंधी नहीं है, लेकिन जब मैं अपने फ्रेंड्स को बताती हूँ कि हाँ मैं ड्रामा कर रही हूँ और बहुत बड़े बड़े डायरेक्टर आ रहे हैं हमको, तो फिर वो लोग भी कहते हैं चलो हम भी चलते हैं देखने। तो वो लोग भी आए थे और उन्होंने देखा और उन्होंने कहा हाँ बहुत अच्छा था।
Song was followed by Masti Khor Sadho, a puppet show.
और मेरा टिफिन तो आया नहीं, तो क्या करूं? एक गाजर खा जाओ।
And the evening turned out to be a real treat for the children indeed.
अरे इधर से बोलना जरा, एक गाजर खा जाओ।
What an adorable way to get a message across. These children are sure to remember and to understand their traditions and cultures. Now, on this episode, we also have for you 2 art stories from the land of Bihar.
From its festivals and cuisines to the vibrant field of art, Bihar has a lot to offer to our heritage. Madhubani and Godana are 2 forms of paintings whose popularity has now gone global. Arpana Kaur, in her initiative to keep this art form alive, exhibited few paintings from her personal collection at the Academy of Fine Arts and Literature.
The speciality is always black and white. So I love the subtlety of it, because Madhubani is very flamboyant, very well known. It's gone international in a big way. Godna is still new, it's subtle, new comparatively compared to Madhubani. And what attracted me to Godna is that, it was a surprise for me to find Godna paintings. They were normally done by the lower castes, the Dusad community. But now, of course, everybody is doing Godna because folk art suddenly in last 2-3 years has become popular.
Madhubani is a tradition which dates back to the 7th century AD. It started in Mithila and is traditionally practiced by women. The paintings generally portray nature and Hindu religious motifs and deities. The paintings in Aruna's collection have new themes, which depict world calamities like bombing of the Twin Towers, tsunami, and the attack on Taj.
Madhubani peoples are they always wanted to use different colors, bright colors, like no combination, nothing. But whatever they want, whatever they like, they just use it up.
Godana painting is derived from the art of tattoo making, mostly seen in tribal villages. Its uniqueness is evident from the color of the background obtained by dipping the paper in diluted cow dung. In her collection, Aruna had put up Godana paintings by the late Sat Narayan Pandey, an eminent figure under Godana tradition.
See, within every tradition, like within Godna, he was an individual artist because he had his own vocabulary. So within, say, Gond, like Madhya Pradesh, there are so many artists who have develop their individual vocabulary. So it depends within the tradition how much you are innovative and how much you can develop. But I must say folk art has come of age.
While Godhna deals with everyday life themes, Madhubani creates colorful deities, both an integral part of India's cultural heritage.
The contributions of Satyanarayan cannot be marginalized, and initiatives like this should be taken up more often. On that note, it's time for us to take a small break. Colors of India will soon return.
Coming up, cinema through Shyam Benegal's eyes. And fruit chaat to keep you cool this summer.
Welcome back. Robert Frost once said that freedom lies in being bold. Up next, we have for you 11 photographers who captured freedom through their lenses. Take a look.
Freedom has different meaning for different people. This notion had been taken up as the crux of the Freedom Photography exhibition by Pix at the Max Muller Bhavan. Inspired by the very notion, the series stressed on how material and immaterial things, situations, and ideas could provide the required freedom to an individual.
We have to know that freedom is a privilege. It is also an excuse. It is also a responsibility. So how exactly do we interpret freedom? How do we demand it of institutions? How do we demand it personally of ourselves? That is something that this exhibition tries to address through 11 photographers.
The exhibition had 11 photographers from different areas showcasing their meaning of freedom. Like in the photographs of Andrea Fernandez entitled Killing Kittens, she depicted the mediums through which a woman may seek liberation.
The whole thing of freedom was when with each woman I photographed, I realized that to be truly free, you don't have to be rebellious and fight the system and have all these transgressions. You need to question everything. And not just question it, but question the right thing. And that's what the whole project was about.
With so many variations of freedom, the observer surely could relate to one or the other photos. Some of the photographers expressing their freedom through this were A.M. Ahad, who entitled his photos as Border of Impunity, focusing on the border disputes between India and Bangladesh, and many more.
The whole aspect of the images not being descriptive but being interpretive, I guess that makes it interesting. In India, we are much more used to seeing images where we have to be told everything as to what the image is. It's descriptive, illustrative. That's not a rich image. Rich images are one that has multiple layers, and as you go seeing, you keep exploring and they go deeper. I think this exhibition has brought forward that interpretive level.
In today's era, photography has improved drastically in India. There are newer and more daring ways and concepts to portray one's point of view. Organizations like Pix have given this field a modern meaning, truly changing how one perceives a photograph.
Definitely bold and courageous. And it is true what they say about pictures worth 1,000 words. And same is the case with moving images, which is why we have for you an interesting rendezvous with one of India's greatest movie makers.
कोई नया बहाना नहीं मिलता तुम लोग को?
3 महीने का वीजा बढ़ा दो साहब।
25 दिन के ऊपर का तो कानून ही नहीं है।
बेशरम, बेगैरत, अपने को मर्द कहता है तू?
One of the early torchbearers of new wave cinema in Bollywood, veteran director Shyam Benegal, was recently presented with the Excellence in Cinema Award by the South Asian Cinema Foundation or SACF in London. The 77-year-old filmmaker, known for directing path-breaking films like Ankur, Manthan and Bhumika, gave his take on the growing popularity of Indian cinema abroad.
I do know that more money is being earned by Indian films in the US today than ever before. That I know, but that's already happening. And then there are people like Shah Rukh Khan and so on and so forth. His films do much, much better here than some of the other Indian heroes, you know. But the fact is that it has gained acceptance to a large extent.
Since films today have an added responsibility to succeed at the box office internationally, young generation filmmakers are compelled to find common denominators that would appeal to the largest number of people, cutting across social and cultural diversities unlike in the past.
सर उससे पहले मैं निकल चुका था।
मैं निकल चुका था।
सर जी मैं तो दिल्ली में था ही नहीं।
हम तो 12 बजे ही निकल गए थे।
Benegal praised contemporary cinema, calling it much more vibrant, with young directors playing a significant role in infusing a modern sensibility.
In terms of technological use, yes, the quality of technology and in terms of the finish, the more today's Indian films are very smartly made, much more smartly made than they used to. They don't look rough at the edges as they used to in the past, because we are using exactly the same technologies, the same state-of-the-art technologies that are being used elsewhere in the world are being used in Indian cinema as well. So the question does not arise. Ultimately, it's a question of what kind of quality of films in terms of content, in terms of narratives, in terms of performance qualities, in terms altogether of the story itself. What is it that you wish to tell? Whether that has any weight or it doesn't. Whether it's just powder puff. You know, so we make all kinds of films. And the quality of the films in terms of content is also getting better overall.
Roll camera. हम ये जानना चाहते हैं नथा जी कि आपने आत्महत्या करने का फैसला क्यों किया?
While Indian cinema has been criticized for blurring the lines between mainstream and parallel, Benegal, the 6th recipient of the SACF, chose to look at the brighter side instead.
हमारे साथ इमरती बाई है जो ये कह रही हैं कि नत्था मरेगा तो हमारे यहाँ मेला लगेगा और हमें हमारी बिक्री होगी।
The boundaries, of course, are blurring between different kinds of genres of films, which is a wonderful thing as far as Indian cinema is concerned. Well, you see, first of all, that name was rather unfortunate. It was, I would call it alternate cinema, an alternate form of entertainment than what the mainstream used to provide. Now, there is no such thing that it has died. How could it have died? Because it's only extended itself. It hasn't died. And the so-called parallels have actually converged. So there is no parallel cinema. There is good cinema, there's bad cinema, there's indifferent cinema. And that is how it should be.
As the distinction between art and entertainment vanish, young filmmakers are upbeat about making films that engage audience and deal with sensitive and intelligent subjects.
आपको दो नहीं चाहिए और तो अनु चाहिए नहीं ऐश्वर्या पहले करियर डिसाइड करो बाद में बच्चा पैदा करो
नाम है विक्की अरोरा फेसबुक पे स्टेटस कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है और उसके ग्रेट ग्रैंडफादर के 19 बच्चे थे
In an effort to keep pace with a changing society and shifting mindsets, fused with an ever-growing population of the educated middle class, Indian cinema seems to be reaching newer heights.
V, not a B.
मैंने कलकत्ता में विदा विदा सब है सेम फीलिंग आपका हस्बैंड्स नेम
अर्नब
बख्शी
According to Benegal, Indian cinema can be compared with world cinema. On that highly positive and motivational note, it is time for us to take a small break. Don't go anywhere because Colors of India will soon return.
Coming up, indulge in a fruity diet on Food Trail.
Beats the heat with something interesting. No, I'm not talking about lassis and juices. I'm talking about chaat instead. On Food Trail this week, we take you to Delhi's oldest and most famous fruit chaatwala.
When in Delhi, you have to have chaat. And when walking around in Connaught Place, right here on KG Mart, what you absolutely can't afford to miss is Papu's fruit and aloo chaat. For students and for office goers alike, this chaat corner has been the chosen favorite for about 25 years. And I'm here to find out exactly why. KG Mark bustles with office activity and impatient cars, this tiny stall is always mobbed. What you get here is a variety of finger-licking fruit chaats and thirst-quenching fruit juices. Considering Shatrughan Sinha also chose Papu chaat, we had to taste the goodie and see for ourselves.
हेलो पप्पू जी, हमने आपके फ्रूट चाट और आलू चाट के बारे में बहुत सुना है, तो सबसे पहले आप मुझे ये बताइए कि सबसे फ्रूट चाट में क्या खासियत है?
मैडम खासियत क्या है, फ्रूट अपने फ्रेश होते हैं, ताजी काटते हैं हम लोग, तो बढ़िया तो है ही है, शरीर के लिए बहुत बढ़िया है। तो मैडम जगह सीजन में जो बढ़िया चीज़ मिलती है ना, हम लोग वो लगाते हैं। जो चीज़ मेरे को पसंद नहीं आती वो मैं लगाता ही नहीं। आज अभी जो सेब आ रहा था, सेब जब तक चल रहा था, आज कुर्बानी बढ़िया मिल गई, भाई टेस्ट अच्छा था, तो वो लेके आगे नई वैरायटी आदमी को मिलता है खाने को। कुर्बानी एक ऐसी आइटम है जो हर किसी चाट वाला नहीं लगाता, बहुत कम जगह पे मिलती है।
You get an assortment of watermelon, mango and muskmelon, mixed with slices of cucumber and potatoes among others. The fruits are seasonal, choose between sweet chutney or go high on masala. But the one thing that makes this chaat stand apart is Papu's homemade masala.
सब मसाला घर के बने होते हैं, बस उसको थोड़ा तरीके से डालना होता है। भाई आपने हल्का माला तो हल्का डालना पड़ेगा, तो आपको स्वाद लगेगा ही लगेगा। अब जिसको तेज़ मसाला चाहिए उसको तेज़ मसाला चाहिए, मीडियम वालों को मीडियम चाहिए, इसलिए लोगों को ज़्यादा स्वाद लगता है, एक जैसा किसी को नहीं मिलता है।
Papu chaat is recognized for its variety of aloo chaat as well. The portions are enormous, chutney absolutely heavenly, and potatoes fried to golden brown perfection. And guess what? Despite the variety, all you shell out is 25 rupees per plate. Papu chaat has quite a few takers. As people passed by, from the young to the old, they all had their unique reasons for choosing this almost 3-decade-old chaat corner as their meal of the day.
This is a very good option, safe option. I wanted to avoid the oil, so the only next option is the chaat.
Tasteful and hygienic flavor here, and I have eating since 7 years regularly.
20 साल पहले आते थे, जब हमारा ऑफिस यही सामने अंसल भवन में था, तब आते थे. उसके बाद यहाँ से चले गए, तो आज बाई चांस यहाँ आ गया.
आलू चाट और फ्रूट चाट मस्त है. इनका टेस्ट अच्छा है, मतलब अच्छा बनाते हैं.
Mango shake done, fruit chaat done, aloo chaat done. I've had quite a fruity delight for my lunch today. Although Papu's chaat is famous for aloo chaat, but I'm going to go slightly against the tide and choose fruit chaat as my favorite. That's purely because you get a mix of all the seasonal fruits here, fresh, it's affordable and it's healthy. So fruit chaat it is for me.
Fruit chaat, the safest bet if you're new to Delhi's street food scene. And if you are a veteran, do write to us onto our Facebook page because we'd love to know where you binge. We'll see you next week. Until then, take care. Goodbye.